Uncle story time, calm after the storm. Used to be a terrible skeptic, but that all changed after my daddy's passing in 2013. And for some reason, there's been a significant spike in my experiences since, especially these last few months. August 20th, 2018. I had a heartbreaking argument with a friend who ended up cursing me after I called her out on her numerous lies, always claiming she'd never said this or that. I said God may strike me if I'm lying, and her response was that God should strike me. He should strike me dead. Days after I was still struggling to come to terms with her outburst, breaking down sobbing, thinking she not only called me a liar, but placed a death wish on me. I need to talk to someone about this, but I'm a very private person, so it festers, and the crying and feelings of hopelessness don't let up. Do I deserve this because perhaps I'm a type person? The only thing I know for sure is that I don't knowingly tell a lie, especially not one I feel will make me look good in other people's eyes. I'm too damn old to want to impress others, and I can only imagine how tiring it must be to pretend being someone else. I just realized I do lie. I do often lie knowingly when someone asks me how I'm doing and I say I'm fine, despite my body being assaulted with pain. Isn't everyone guilty of that type of white lie? September 6th, 2018. I'm at my local clinic to collect my monthly supply of medication. The place is packed, as usual, with more than a few disgruntled people voicing their displeasure at the waiting time. I'm not the most patient person, but I'm grateful for the free medication, so I sit and wait patiently, only raising my voice when someone is being rude or unreasonable, feeling ashamed at their lack of manners or gratitude. The place is noisy, and it's difficult to even hear yourself think. Thank goodness they've installed a new system that announces your number and the window to collect your meds at a volume that doesn't get drowned out by the raised voices in the overcrowded waiting area. My folder's been collected, so it's safe for me to stretch my legs. I'm thirsty, and there are several informal traders outside the clinic peddling their products. But first, I need the toilet. At the swinging toilet door, someone knocks into me as I step inside, and I turn to confront my accoster, but there's nobody there. In fact, the door is still open, and when I pop my head out, the corridor is empty, no doors or corridors someone could have slipped into. Okay, perhaps a part of the door struck me. I'm at the basin, at the far end of the toilet, washing my hands when I feel a cool, brisk breeze passing by me, as though someone strode past me, close by me. Probably a gust of wind had come in from the open windows, but it came from the direction of the door, and the door is closed. All the cubicle doors are open, so I'm alone in there, and there's no one else at the row of basins by the mirror, which in itself is strange, as there is always someone or several ladies in the toilet. As I turn to leave, my back to the windows now, I hear a disembodied voice, a gentle female voice. She will answer for her deeds and words. I feel as though I'm eavesdropping on a private conversation, and I feel an odd kind of peace come over me. Shame. Someone's being comforted after being hurt by something someone did or said. I can relate. As I'm walking toward the door, I hear the voice again. Don't you worry, Apo, you're good people. A feeling of surreal calm, warmth, and peace enveloped me. I muttered a hasty, thank you, and scrambled from the ladies' toilet, slumping down onto the closest empty chair. I've taken to carrying my diary with me wherever I go, just in case I needed to record something. I have not seen my friend since August 20th, and despite my newfound peace and serenity, I'm not convinced that I'm ready to face her. Should I reach out first, or should I let her make the first move? Story 2. Not my time yet. I often wonder why spirits choose to show themselves at particular times, ranging from the mundane, my burned pies account, Daddy's chirpies, to possible life-threatening experiences. Valkyrie's Big Brother is watching. Why not all the time, especially in perilous situations? Is it perhaps a matter of, it's not your time yet? Whatever the reasons, I am thankful and grateful when I'm the object of their interventions. August 29th, 2018. On August 22nd, I had cataracts removed from my right eye, resulting in what the doctor assured me is a temporary loss of right peripheral vision. No worries, no pain, except for my slight anxiety to get behind the wheel and drive. Consequently, I decided to take the bus to my closest Home Affairs office to replace my missing identity document. That's where we, South Africans, go to register births, deaths, apply for identity documents and passports, etc. The distance from my home to the bus stop is less than 100 meters, however. It necessitates me crossing a busy double-carriage road, both ways, separated by a grass-covered median strip lined with trees. I had to board a bus going in the westerly direction. Even though the office opens at 8 a.m., I left home at 5:50 a.m. in order to beat the endless queue that starts snaking its way around the building from 6:30 a.m. onwards. It's a short trip, approximately 5 kilometers, however. Despite adequate street lights, it is still dark and eerily quiet. Winter still has us firmly in its Arctic grip here in Cape Town. A bit of information on typical winter weather here. Commonly stormy, but we're also blessed with temperate and sunny days. No snow, but icy blasts slam us from the snow-covered mountains around towns further away. I'm standing on the pavement, sidewalk, checking oncoming traffic from the right. And when I'd considered it safe to cross, I stepped off the pavement and took my first steps to cross the road when I got yanked back by the strap of my denim duffel-style bag slung over my left shoulder. I was not close to a pole or any obstruction that my bag might have gotten snagged around it to cause me to physically retreat. I nearly fell on my bum stepping back so violently. I immediately thought, robber. However, because my area is notorious for early morning robberies of people on their way to work, I'd been vigilant and kept myself aware of my surroundings, and when I recovered from stepping back, I looked all around, and there was not a soul in sight, except for 2 people, female silhouettes, waiting at the bus stop for the bus going in the easterly direction. So, either it was a super swift robber who managed to scramble between the houses in the fraction of the time it took me to recover, or I'd somehow stepped out on wobbly legs. But the sudden whoosh of a car speeding past me, causing my coat to flap around me, set my legs trembling. The driver had failed to switch on the car's lights, and it was a dark-colored car. I didn't even see it approaching. I stood on that pavement for a good minute or two, scared, immobile. Even though there were several chances for me to cross the road safely, I could not move, until a gentle prod in my back jabbed me to life. I spun around expecting to see someone looking for my attention, but there wasn't a soul in sight. I told myself I'm imagining things now because of the fright from nearly being knocked over. I stood for several seconds, checking the road for oncoming traffic, straining my eyes to be sure I wouldn't miss another reckless driver when I heard it. It's safe now. I can tell you it was a male voice with a familiar graveliness to it. I can also tell you that this particular road has seen its fair share of fatal pedestrian accidents, the last being my brother's best friend who died last year while he crossed the road and was run over by a speeding driver. He died on impact at the spot I had been standing, give or take a few steps. The rest of my short trip was uneventful. Not that anything could outshine someone caring enough to reach out from behind the veil to save my life. May his spirit rest in peace. He was a sweet soul, and as I'd been told by another YGS member with regards to the personality/character of spirits from beyond. As in life, so in the afterlife. So it shouldn't be a surprise that he showed up when he did, right? It wasn't my time yet,